Hey guys, welcome back to ESL TV for the ESL One Battlefield 4 Spring 2015 season, cut number 4. And now we're finally into our finals here between Fnatic and Epsilon. It's a rematch of prior games before. It looks like actually the game has started, so we're just going to drop you in right now and get this game underway for you.
Yep, and on the right-hand side, the red side is Epsilon. They're going to be contending two players over towards the C flag, trying to intercept, but already there's a player there. And it's going to be Unfixed who manages to push them back. On the other side, of course, Fnatic, a team who really does not need an introduction. Valutage more, Unfixed, Too Easy, and Drunks. And kicking this one off already, you can see B and C flying the Fnatic flag, and you can see that they're going to get a great flank from Drunks here. They would not expect this, and he certainly does, and it's going to be an easy frag as Horek does fall. And you can see one man making a push for the A flag as well, getting greedy. And Valutage, he may very well get this.
Well, he will pick up that one, and he should be able to lock down anything else after this. But the maps for you guys who are not familiar with the three that we'll be playing. We have Operation Locker, followed up by Dawnbreaker, followed up by Siege of Shanghai if we do need it. And this map was chosen by Epsilon. So you expect they'd win this map if they're going to choose it and feel confident onto it. But right now, Fnatic off to an early 2-1 hold. Looking pretty good here so far. Had a little bit of a more lax game than Epsilon did just prior, considering it was a 5-on-4 with snipers. But Drunk's got to be feeling confident. He's probably begging his team, guys, just let me just switch to sniper. I got this. I got it. But definitely putting a lot more emphasis into this game because Epsilon has always been on the heels of Fnatic and always been fighting for that second place spot. Never able to get first. Never able to be the bride. Always the bridesmaid. And now, let's see if they can pull it off here. Let's see if they can do what Meechmakers did just a week prior by toppling Fnatic.
Fnatic just want to prove themselves. We saw a tweet saying from Too Easy just saying, expect to see us at the grand finals. Confidence was there. As they really kind of got a little bit of a wake-up call from MYM in their 2-1 defeat in the previous cup last week. Now here comes Mort, trying to do something not going to be given to him as he does get clipped on that A flag. Still, Fnatic maintaining this 2-1 hold. And look at the patience from Unfixed. He's been here for an awful long time, does get spotted out, but he's not going to be taken down just yet. And you see Horek realizing that that's not going to be an easy one. He's instead forced to back away, caught between a rock and a hard place, and actually just going to be trying to get away to safety because, of course, Too Easy is on the other side of things. Wow, he was on the other side of things, past tense. Mayek picks up a double, as well as David with one, and all of a sudden this three-man stack from Epsilon is going to cause trouble. Well, I say that. It should be causing trouble, but Unfixed is doing a fantastic job of picking them apart. Now Mayek lying in wait in the bedroom.
Yeah, they're distracting quite a long time, but unfortunately they've been back capped towards A, and now Fnatic just dying one by one as they push right back in towards this B flag. Mayek trying to lead the charge here, trying to cause his presence. It's a little bit of fear and doubt in the minds of Fnatic, but they're able to rush him down. Drunks picks up the kill, but they're going to get tri-cap. Look at that. Fnatic get a respawn in towards the backside of B, so they will at least pick B up and stop the tri-cap. But they've been completely outplayed here.
Strong positioning there from the Epsilon side, and look at this, straight rotate from Fnatic. They're realizing that if we don't bolster our numbers on A, this could run away from us. Mayek is the one ready to receive, and there's three men just around the corner. First one comes in, it's going to be Drunks to fall. And you can see they changed their minds. It's actually Valutage who's opted to head on towards outside, head towards that helipad area. But there's two players to receive. Great positioning from Epsilon. It seems to me that wherever the Fnatic side choose to push, there's always numbers advantage for Epsilon.
Yeah, I agree with that one, but right now A is going to be a little bit tough to hold when you have everyone barreling down on top of that, and that will go over to the side of Fnatic here, and not to mention Too Easy pushing outside towards C. We're going to see a tri-cap come in, and quickly, Drunks noticing that there's no one else really out here along the map, heads right back towards B, while Too Easy finishes that cap off towards C, and we're going to see a one-on-one breakout here between Horek and him, and see who can pick up the kill here. A nice little dancing around the pillar, buys a little bit of time for his teammates to flank him from the backside. So he's going to go down here, but Horek up against two will quickly be cleaned up. And that will be a 2-1 hold maintained for Fnatic for now. Meantime, B, a lot of action breaking out here where Drunks is the only man to defend against three, tries to back away, and gets picked off by the side of Epsilon. So now, 2-1. And we're going to find if Epsilon can play from the back foot here, where Fnatic need time to set up and get in position to hold these crosses. And look at that, Too Easy. Trying to watch the push into Snake.
I want to see how little Horek can see. I mean, he could not see too much. It's just so wild there. Finally, see Too Easy actually breaks formation, and it costs him his life. And now, in the meantime, Hallway's being controlled by Epsilon, but it's not a flag, and it's not going to give you tickets. As Drunks to shut that down. Great play from him. 102 to 86 already. Tickets starting to break away from the Epsilon side. As that B flag is being pressured by the Fnatic side. Only one man there to receive it. It's going to be David, but I mean, we've seen him do it so many times before. David is just a sentinel. Given a sight and they say hold it, and he does. As he's going to try and catch off this player just to the left of him. He has been spotted out, though. It's actually Valutage who prevails, and all of a sudden the whole map is blue. And so Epsilon's chances are already there falling away.
Whole map bleeding blue. That is just fantastic for Fnatic, considering how they've been really struggling in this game so far.
Yeah, I mean, Epsilon, they're looking black and blue, as now they just have the B and C flags given to Fnatic. They do manage to retake the A flag, but we'll see for how long, as already Fnatic seem to be encircling around them.
All right, so circling around them like a pack of sharks with that drop of blood in the water here. And Fnatic are really starting to build up the lead. 50 tickets about, as it looks like Epsilon have dropped a mem. Looks like Duke, fortunately, not sure how long that's actually been happening, when he does come back into the game, and he will be fine. And still, Epsilon can't really afford little things like that. And you know, the side of Epsilon, they've always been a team that, if you get them on tilt, they kind of just topple over. And one little thing like that, by like a disconnect, can cause that mindset to really.
That's a very good point. No, sorry, I was agreeing with you. I was like, yeah, actually, that's a really good point. Because, I mean, we saw it in the offline stages before in the previous season. They were 2-0 up, they lost the one map, and then all of a sudden, things started going horribly wrong for Epsilon. They are a team that are prone to tilting, and going into this one already, 98-51. That's going to be starting to put a bit of a bad taste in their mouth. We'll see how far they can get, though, if they can close this gap. We know Fnatic have had troubles closing out games in the previous cups this season. And now, Malutaja trying to prone around the stairs, doesn't catch anyone, as it's actually safe to come out on top of that one. But you can see this kind of very scattered play from Fnatic. They're very much just holding on to what sites they can hold from a distance. I mean, look at that, an undefended C flag, and they don't need to, because they are just pinning in the Epsilon side by just being everywhere. They're like a swarm at the moment.
It's a bloodbath. Like, these teams are just going head-to-head. 40 kills to 33. 73 kills.
We're already 6 minutes in.
Yeah, and it's been 73 kills on the board. That is ridiculous. See, my addition there was pretty good as well. But like you're saying, not really focusing on the C5, just kind of forcing everyone to fight it, to duel it out over towards the middle. And Epsilon now might be able to make a breakthrough in towards A, but Moore has something to say about it. Does get one kill and does back away.
Now, where do they go from here? Already, they realize that C flag has been pretty quiet for far too long. Unfixed, though. The stalwart man is going to be holding steady, as he does manage to keep that site quiet for now. And now you can see that this kind of calm before the storm is emerging. But 25 tickets, Epsilon, they don't have too much to work with here. No,
they don't. 93. That would be amazing for Fnatic. You know, we saw some really big numbers before of like 123. What did we see earlier today? 123, yeah, between Infamous and No Mercy. And these are two completely different caliber teams, and yet Fnatic are still just walking all over Epsilon. The disconnect might be something that's really kind of in their mind. But with 90 tickets and a lot of time to work with here, Epsilon, 15 left to go. They need to take this bleed away. They need to get something going for their side. They can't let Fnatic get this kind of lead.
No way. It's not something you should really let Fnatic get. I mean, anything or against any team, but especially Fnatic, because they are kind of criminally good at maintaining leads if they have their structure. Of course, I said before that, you know, Fnatic, they have had trouble closing out games, and that is true of the very recent games. But if history has anything to call of, then Fnatic tells a much different story. As now Duke is just dancing with more here, and you can see he can as Duke gets that one.
I don't think I get that reference on that one. But 85-1. So Fnatic going to close it out with a huge lead. 85 tickets. Now this is kind of a lead you expect to see out of, like, you know, a good team, or like
I'd have expected this from Fnatic SK. If that. In fact, maybe not even that. Fnatic.
What sound are you making?
Matriku.
I'm trying to think of an 85 ticket scoreline that we've had.
Yeah.
Oh, I can tell you that in a second. Just got to finish updating the graphic here.
Okay.
For the next half.
You didn't understand my reference? The can is a dance.
I know it's, but I didn't.
Because he was dancing with Mort, and then I said, oh, and he can. Because he can get the kill, but also because it's a dance move.
MHSVSK, Dawnbreaker 85.
Thank you.
I don't know why that's there. Or that.
Just throwing my notes at
I don't know why your notes are mixed in with my notes all of a sudden.
My notes are superior.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the only 85 game we've had. Nope. Yep. And 88 with SK and Epsilon.
Close. No cigar. Right.
All right.
Operation Locker. We're going into our second half now in this grand final. Winner of this will secure that €500 and get more points towards the group stages, which is in a week. Is it a week or 2 weeks that they get between the last cup and the group stage?
Not sure, to be honest, but it's an extended period of time for them to prepare and to get ready coming into this whole thing. And I'm actually just going to check. So there's actually a North America Cup kicking off on March. I don't think we're... I'm pretty sure we're not casting that. Consider it would be like really early in the morning for us.
Yeah, that's true. But either way, I think last time it was a week or a week and a half.
Yeah, I think it's 2 weeks from groups to... That's offline finals.
Okay, so maybe it's a bit shorter before the between the two.
Maybe it's 2 before as well. I don't know. But Fnatic, they're currently in first place with 175 points, and Epsilon are in second with 125. So it'd be really great if Epsilon could come back and pull this off, but Fnatic, just their track record alone is making them look like the better team. Not to mention having this kind of scoreline, 85 tickets. That's not easy to do against teams of this caliber. These are like two of the best teams in Europe, and to be able to pull off that kind of lead is rough. Especially on Epsilon's map.
Yeah, it's not easy whatsoever. Epsilon chose to play Operation Locker, and already they're at this huge deficit. And so with 14 seconds left on the countdown, it's all on Epsilon. If Epsilon can maybe do something different, especially towards the early game, which we saw the Fnatic side just leave C, abandon C, and kind of an offensive defense. So we'll see how Epsilon choose to deal with it now. The sides have swapped, and we're into our second half of our very first game in this grand final.
All right, so let's actually just sit here and tag along with Duke and see exactly where he does go. He pushes in towards Halls, and Drunks does pick up, I think, the first kill of the round. But they're going to get C, they're going to get B. They will have a 2-1 hold, but the tickets are working against them. 85 is that threshold. Remember, if you see Epsilon drop below 85, they will have lost on map number 1 and takes on to map number 2, which would be on Dawnbreaker, which, funny enough, Fnatic chose, which to me, I think is actually one of their weaker maps. Funny enough. But look at this, Valo taking his time. Does eventually get killed, though. But it has bought time, though, for them to cap C. So they will have the 2-1. They're going to be playing off the back of this. And Epsilon, they need to kind of rotate. They need to bounce off of these kills they're picking up and transition those into results. Transition them into some flags.
Great pick from Safe. Does manage to clip Mort down on that rock face. As now he's going to try and pursue into the site. Safe. This kind of made his job a little bit more difficult because, of course, they know where he is and they know that flag has been neutralized. But look at this swarm, 3 members closing in. I can't even get to him before he does get eliminated. And that's
See, but the thing is, with that call, like, David just said, okay, there's 3 outside. There's 3C, 4C. And they should immediately rush into A. And they're taking their time to do it. Like, they're finally eventually going in. But look at this. It's so slow. It's allowing time for respawns to come back in. But they get the kill on unfixed. The respawns don't get there in time. But they finally get their 2-1 back, but they're down quite a few tickets already. Yeah, and don't forget, 85 is the threshold. Epsilon have a lot less just taken away from them before the game even begins. As you can see, Drunks just twitching on towards that A site. Trying to hype himself up. He just runs into fire, does get eliminated. Horek, the man behind the frag, and now you can see Velutage surely going to go down. He doesn't. These frags need to start going Epsilon's way. Every single time it looks like Fnatic member is in a bit of a tight spot. Saying that, it does actually finally get taken down. Duke from behind. But they seem to have no trouble surprising Epsilon with these frags. Great play. Again, this time Drunk's the one to fall. There's Safe just roaming around these hallways. He knows that if they can maintain this AB hold, then this very well could be an even game. Very well could. But that's still a lot of tickets to go here at Epsilon. And David certainly sent out 1 and 4. Man get 2 and 3. Unfixed on the side of Fnatic at 0 and 3. So a couple of people not doing as well as they maybe should. He performed so well before. I'm pretty sure he was the one running around. He had like 19-3 or something ridiculous last time we saw him. Was that against SK? Yeah. I mean, yeah, 5 on 4. Yeah, but no one else was getting any frags. They just unleashed unfixed on this map. As he was just trying his heart out. Mayek does fall again. It seems to be that Too Easy is holding all the right angles in all the right places as now Velutage backs away. The thing is, you have to look at the score right now. It's basically 40 tickets to 108. Epsilon have like less than 40 to go before they hit the point where there's no return, and they'll lost on map number 1 and go on to the second map on Dawnbreaker. So if Epsilon are going to do anything, they need to make their plays happen soon. They're going to get the cap on a C, so they get something going on for them. They get the 2-1. Now the real test for them is, can they hold it? Can they stop Fnatic from just retaking things over and over again and unfixed? That was a little questionable spray right there, but it does get the kill in the end. He can get the revive onto his teammate Too Easy. But time. That's what's working against Epsilon here, and they need to get momentum built up. They need to start locking these sites down and not allowing for the retakes to come in.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the main goal, is just to avoid retakes, or at least be able to treat retakes with a little bit of less of a kind of bum rush, stack 5 members kind of style, which we have seen in the past. At the moment, though, Epsilon, whilst it does look good and whilst it does look structured, it may not be strong enough structure. As I say that, though, it does look like Fnatic get fully squad wiped and lose a man. That's going to turn the tables fast.
Just when does Unfix crash or disconnect?
Wait.
What are we trying to do?
Everyone was standing still. I was like, is Epsilon respecting this, or? It looks like they are.
No, they're just like holding. Yeah, they're just holding 2-1.
Wow, none of them are moving. That was incredible.
Disciplined.
Very disciplined. They realise, you know, just stand still, they're going to come to us. And you can see on the map, look at that, very stationary positions from them. And you said that it was it too easy? You said that you're most vulnerable when you're moving in Battlefield.
It was still on Fnatic. I don't know if it was him or Drunks I was talking to, but it makes a good point. And well, right now, Unfix has reconnected in, picked up the kill, and he started to finally get some momentum going back for the side of Fnatic. But 109 tickets, again, not a lot left to play with here. 2-1 going back to the side of Fnatic. And it looks like they might be able to maintain this.
Well, they should. They certainly should. Fnatic just desperate to close this one out, especially now after losing a man. Of course, it was Unfixed. Unfixed was at the bottom of that scoreboard. But still, losing a man, that's another body to cap. That's another body to defend. And wow, great hip fire there, as he did manage to take Drunks with him. And so, B and C now flying for Fnatic once again. That C flag's going to be questioned, though, as they are nearing that 85 margin. Just 10 tickets now separating Epsilon from a first map defeat, as Horak has made that A site his own. But you can see Drunks just holding strong on the site. Does manage to pick up with the Magnum, as he does connect 2 frags for 2. Meg gets the respawn, though. He's trying to bolster the numbers on this side, but I don't think it's going to give them anything. As you can see, Fnatic have just swarmed in. It seems to be like from such a disciplined Epsilon side to just Fnatic running around.
This is what we talked about with No Mercy. Like, they just rushed 4 men into like the same area trying to take a site, but you have Fnatic who swarm all over the site, going from multiple angles, and it allows them to get caps like that. They have lost out on B, though, for now. But I imagine that might turn really quickly, as Epsilon have one ticket left to go. So just any respawns back in, any kills Fnatic pick up now will secure themselves that first map.
And it does. 84 now. That's going to be falling beneath the 85 set from the first half. And we have our first map victors. It's going to be Fnatic picking up Locker. And that means we turn now our attention to the Dawnbreaker, which was, of course, selected by the Fnatic side. And Jason, you highlighted earlier that it's an interesting choice. You find it interesting that Fnatic opted to pick Dawnbreaker, a map they were previously known to be very good at, as of recently not so much. But they chose to. They want to play this against Epsilon. Perhaps they know they've got a very good understanding of how... Oh, voice break. of how Epsilon play and perform on Dawnbreaker. So... yeah, that's something to keep an eye on. It's something to see how well Epsilon kind of maybe have varied their playstyle since we last saw them on Dawnbreaker, because Fnatic, they think they're predictable.
I think, yeah, well, Epsilon are a stronger team on that map. Yeah. They've had some really good holds that have been, you know, pretty flawless. Like, they were the ones that set up the standard, like, what was it? So Asterix, who's back towards A, watching the long cross from C to A on Dawnbreaker towards the south side of the map. Then you had Duke and David as a 2-man squad, one at Dogwalk, one under Dogwalk. Then you had Mayek, I think it was, watching from bushes. So that's a really strong setup. That was really hard to penetrate, and it was able to make them hold these 2-on-1s. But Fnatic, I think, is one of those teams that Epsilon have a hard time predicting and can maybe punish them a little bit. I don't know. It's going to be a rough map. But then... Siege Shanghai, I feel like Fnatic were definitely strong on that map, and yet they chose this map first.
Maybe they just want to practice makes perfect. You know, at this stage
like,
they can.
If you're gonna be weak at a map, why not play it against one of the best teams in Europe and improve it? Especially when you know you're already qualified for groups. You're already qualified for the top 4 seed, anyways. And
because you're in this this cup, means that you basically kind of can guarantee that Epsilon are going to give you a little insight into what they've got planned for this map. And so, yeah, I think this is it. I think this is a testing ground now for Fnatic. They want to basically see what Epsilon have got and also be able to test perhaps some of their new strategies that they may be creating for the new season. As we are going to be kicking this one off very, very shortly. Looks like Epsilon have lost a man once again. I'm sure he'll be right back in.
Who was it?
It wasn't Duke.
Huh. David crashed, apparently.
Okay, he will be back very, very shortly. And I mean... Talking of David, talking of him and his role on this map, he seems to be very much one of those players who is given a site and told to hold it. And if ever there was going to be a site that he's going to be given. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him over on the site on your screens now, playing that very distant C defense. We've seen him do it before, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see him do it again. Maybe more so perhaps up on the sidelines, as he can kind of cast his eyes over towards B as well, but that does make him a lot more vulnerable.
I'm trying to think if he is the man that sits there. I mean, I know that everyone at Epsilon could do it. I was thinking of...
I know Mayak favors it as well.
Not Mayak. Who did save replace? I can't remember the name. Hold on, let me ask them. I can't remember his name. Once I see it, I know I'm going to know it.
Oh, you've blown my mind. Hold on.
Marsu.
It was Marsu, because it was Marsu and Mayak. I remember saying that a lot.
And Marsu was the man who always kind of held on to that catwalk area. So I'm actually curious to see who on the side of Epsilon took that role from him. Maybe it was safe. I don't know. We'll find out.
It would make sense if it was safe, just because, I mean, you've got that, slot a new man into the lineup and basically let him fill that role. But then that's the beauty of when you do change a player, is you can have a whole fresh look at strategies and also positions, because perhaps, he holds a position, or he used to hold a position that you haven't even considered as being viable. And so with the new addition of Safe, going into a map that we know Fnatic are good at, we know Epsilon have had issues prior on this map against Fnatic, but also, I mean, we say that, I'm pretty sure Epsilon in the semi-final last time had a great showing on this very map. So both sides have their strengths, both sides have their weaknesses. Who here is going to really show us what they've got?
Well, we had Fnatic Epsilon play in cut number 1 on Parasol Storm and Locker, which was a 2-0. We had SK play Fnatic, which doesn't really count for this one. Meachmaker's Epsilon, which doesn't account for this one.
Fnatic played SK on this very map, didn't they?
No. Goldman Railway and Locker.
Oh,
was SK
I had a
Fnatic.
memory of this.
We had Fnatic Epsilon on Parasol Storm Locker. Dawnbreaker was the 3rd map, which it didn't get to, I believe, in cut number 1, because it was a 2-0. Then Meachmakers played Fnatic in Cup number 3, and Meachmakers won that one. And in Cup 2, Fnatic 2-0'd SK. I remember that game. Cup 2. Was that right when we got back? No, it was Cup 3 when we got back from Katowice.
Yeah, it was Cup 2, Briar. Yeah. Not sure what we're waiting for. We lost a Fnatic member.
Yep.
Ooh, not ideal.
Unfixed again.
Unfixed has been having issues with his internet in the game, but you guys get pretty quick. Reconnects. Oh. Well,
you know what we can do for now, guys? Since I know you're more than happy to hear us talk nonsense, I feel like we can show you.
Why don't we recap, like the previous season? We always talk about how fantastic Fnatic performed and how well they did offline over in Cologne. I mean, the Gamescom event. It was a great event, and we've got a little video here that we can show just to remind you guys of what you missed out if you weren't there, and if you were there, exactly what you experienced.
Welcome to ESL One Battlefield Grand Finals.
If he's not spotted, this could be very dangerous, but with the shots coming in, they have to know he's there, and he's going to get the kill on the Fraud somehow after being shot first. He's looking for the second one, and he will secure that one safe.
Right now, Ducky trying to take one down, does eventually. He took cost him a whole magazine though. He's going to head into the container to get a second. Fantastic work.
Which I think will be A unless Valu can do the job. He gets one, gets the second. Big play from Valu.
It's game on time here at ESL One for the grand final of Battlefield 4.
Rightfully though, they're not going to stick around. They're going to start rotating towards B.
Oh, Drunk! Oh, Rampage! 3 kills coming in. I don't know. He's not being taken out just yet. As you can see, it's 5-1 here. We'll be coming
around the corner for more. He's got the blood in his eyes.
Oh my.
He wants more. He gets a 6th one as well. Unfixed as well. Big players. They're getting so very close. This is danger. That's it. They're going to win it. It was very well. It was so easily done by them.
Ladies and gentlemen, the champions of Season 3, ESL One, Fnatic.
Well, that is what went down during Gamescom this last year. Was good times, And it looks like we are ready now to get underway with this game here, Alex. So why don't you refresh our minds on the roster as we do get this game underway.
Here we go. We're going into our second map now of the grand final. On the left-hand side of your screens, on the blue side, we have Fnatic, Valutaja, Mort, Too Easy, Drunks, and Unfixed. And for Epsilon, on the red side, on the Chinese side, we have Safe, Horek, Mayek, David, and Duke. David and Duke, that sounds like a kind of comic duo. As you can see, Horek rocking off a Magnum shot, throwing a nade at himself, but that's just because he's so confident. That's how he encourages himself to push forward, as he does manage to pick up a frag onto Valutaja. And already that B and C flag is flying for Fnatic.
All right, so turning the map blue here. They're not EG, they're Fnatic. Can't turn it orange, unfortunately. I don't think that's a color they're allowed to play. Actually, I think we could probably change around to show orange, now that I think about it. But either way, Fnatic off to a decently strong start, 146 to 123. And Epsilon are trying to fight back here, able to secure that B flag back for themselves. Oof. And they have 2 men again. This is kind of classic Epsilon, where they keep 2 men towards Catwalk. This was back when they played with Marsu, though, and kind of played from this position. But they're actually getting flanked from behind. Meg is going to turn around. He's not going to get the better of Mort, who's going to get the kill, a double, actually. And that will be now the last man in the squad here for Fnatic, as they have been wiped out across the map, even potentially getting tri-capped over towards C.
Okay, Valutaja making his way towards A. There isn't going to be a player there to receive him. It's going to be what was going to be Safe. He did get eliminated, and all of a sudden that A site's going to be a freebie. As now Fnatic bolstering their numbers as they look to be pushing towards B. You can see already, though, it's going to be an straight exchange on towards that C flag, and it all falls to Duke to slow down the push onto B. Great start, though. Gets a double as Mort is added to his collection. Nade coming out as well, as they are just trying to flank around onto Drunks. I'm pretty sure Drunks is a sitting duck at this stage, as he is going to be taken down again. 3 for Duke, as he goes from 1 to 3 to 4 to 3. It's a big increase in his scoreline. Finally does get shut down, as it's just become a little too predictable, a little too aggressive. But as the dust settles, B and C flying for Epsilon, they're going to be able to level out here.
And Fnatic are struggling. Again, this is what we kind of predicted before. They are really kind of failing to hold on to these 2 flags. Yeah, it's relatively early on. It's 2.5 minutes in, so you can't really say too much just yet. But considering their play on Operation Locker, you can really question how they're doing now on Dawnbreaker, where they had a phenomenal first half with 85 tickets. And Hork trying to rush in towards C to protect it. Not able to do that, and this is a 2-to-1 hold, maybe a tri-cap. But Safe does save things a little bit over towards that B flag, and we'll be able to hold on to it for a little bit longer. But nonetheless, 2-to-1, and Fnatic are starting to build up a little bit of a lead.
Just a little one, though, 113 to 110, whilst they do have that C flag. A has been snatched away from them. As you can see, Fnatic are going to be able to retake on towards that B flag. In the meantime, Epsilon making A and C their own. It's a difficult hold, but it's a hold we've seen work in the past. What have you got for us, Valu? Towards Statue. I don't think they're quite aware of his location just yet, as a big chunk does get taken out of the Statue, and Valu, in fact, gets eliminated. Just taking them both. As,
taking the elimination.
Taking the elimination. I think I could have got away with that. The Safe does get eliminating down. What? As let's see what they've got. Horek on the push. I was trying to go the other way, but it didn't really pay out. There's now 102 to 104. And that B flag is changing hands so much.
Yes, it is. And Mayek, though, it looks like he's able to get the better of it. And he will even get a revive in on top of that. So right now, Epsilon, they are sitting on 2-to-1 as they do cap the A flag back over. They do have a slight lead against Fnatic. But again, we mentioned before, Fnatic not necessarily strong in this map anymore. Really curious why they decided to go for it there. And now able to maybe pick up a kill here. Save getting naded from a couple different places, and we're taking quite a bit of damage, but he should be fine for now. He has 2 men pushing straight into him, but he has backup right behind him. He's going to have to be actually forced to go for the peek, and that will eventually be a nade kill.
Horek on towards that A side. You can see, finally, you can see Unfixed is maybe considering a push to try and face him, waits for his teammate to spawn, and it's going to be a 1v2 as Horek darts into the face of the Fnatic side. They say nope, and the A flag is going to be a freebie, as is B. All of a sudden, Epsilon spawns, they're not really too favorable, and all of a sudden, they have to try and focus on the retakes.
They need to focus on something because they've started to fall behind pretty far now. 98 to 76, they are struggling in this game. And with Epsilon, if they can keep performing like this, then they will be looking strong to go into a third map. But Duke at 10 and 5, Safe at 3 and 7. On the other side, though, you have Too Easy at 10 and 5 performing for his team. I mean, kills, they're pretty even, actually. 31 to 31. They're dead even as we just switch over to 32 apiece. So it's not like one team is out-fragging the other, but one team's playing smarter, and that's Epsilon at the moment.
Yep, definitely the case. And it seems to be that the Epsilon are much better at finding sites that aren't so well manned. Or on the other side of that coin is perhaps Epsilon are just much better at defending these sites when they're given to them. As now Duke does get exploded, and there's two men on that side. This time it's going to be Safe, and I assume Horek. As I mean, this is just a change of guard. We've seen them do this with David and Mayek. Now we're seeing them do with Horek and Safe.
Well, right now, Junks is trying to get behind him. Actually, might be to get the better from here. He's off to the side, going to nade in. Don't know if it's going to rain in and land on its target directly, but he's going to get a little bit of a high ground. Let me looking for the spot here, not switching over to his main gun. And he'll back away. But they still have the 2-1. A and C, not the most desirable hold, but they'll take any two cap that they can, muster up right now. And it's tied up at 71 apiece.
David finally does connect to pick up that kill in the meantime. Look at Too Easy's positioning. He's way back up the staircase. He's just keeping these two players busy whilst the 1v1 does start to take shape. Horek does receive some backup though from his squad, and it's going to be an easy one pop for him. As now all of a sudden Too Easy has to kind of retake and reform as his side are starting to splutter. 64 to 66, and that lead that Fnatic was slowly growing has just been kind of blown out of the water as Epsilon, once they hit that kind of 3-minute mark, have just been in control of this game.
And now Fnatic, they need to look for that retake. They need to look for a desirable flag that they can pick up. They do have 4 men trying to maybe penetrate this B flag. It's going to be a little bit tough, though. Valu could work up that street if he can pick up this kill on Duke, but unfortunately, they're getting the better of them. Epsilon really pick up the frags. They're really starting to build up some momentum. It's 47 kills to 40. And now last man in the squad, Too Easy. Fnatic looking like they might drop this first half here against Epsilon.
It's certainly a possibility, but of course on Dawnbreaker, one strong bleed is all it takes. As now that B site is going to be captured over, unless David can try and hold on to it. He's doing his very best as he's just roaming around, hip fire out, but he has got backup now. You can see Mayek Safe on the site. Make it just Mayek, because I think Safe meets his demise, as does Mayek.
That was a bloodbath at B right there.
That was horrible. Epsilon, they invested so much into that, and all of a sudden, 35 to 60. And those tickets are going to stop bleeding away just for now.
Yeah, it should switch over to 2-1 for Fnatic here in just a few seconds as they did get the back cap onto A. Now Mort still playing from this catwalk side. Fnatic trying to get aggressive inside the C building. But it doesn't seem like they're connecting their shots for this moment. Too Easy gets the better of Safe there. And now all of a sudden, Mort and Fnatic with the 2-1 hold, looking to take away this lead that Epsilon has and make this a much closer game.
Mayek trying to push through the fire, not going to happen as he does immediately just get taken down by the Fnatic side. And Fnatic, they just seem to be...
I feel like we just saw someone die there. And it was Safe and Mayek. They're like, all right, well, he's probably not watching the spot again. And paying the price. 2-1 still in favor of Fnatic. 44 to 31. This lead is shrinking. Look at this spot from Valu. He can't get the shots, unfortunately, because of the spawn protection.
Great angle,
and he goes down. But yeah, great angle out of him.
Now Mayek, what have you got for us? Moving on to the side. He needs to take this B-side away from Fnatic now, because that lead that Epsilon did have, you said it was looking favourable, and it certainly was, but not for much longer. 7 tickets is all they have, and Fnatic do have the slight advantage. I say that 2 sites are neutralised, but they do come out on top with the A and C hold. Whilst Epsilon, they have to take that consolation prize. They have to make a move now. They
have to make a move towards A, but they're pushing really slow. We can see there's no one there. A random respawn has finally allowed American Fnatic to maybe hold on to that flag, but they took their time, and that should have been the moment for Fnatic to push straight into B to capitalize off that, kind of expecting maybe Epsilon to push that many men back, but Mort, with the help of a teammate there, Nade not really landing too well there. Trying to push in, trying to get some sort of momentum going. Looks like he has been able to get inside the A flag, but they haven't picked up a single kill yet. As now, you see a lot of damage being traded, and Fnatic starting to win out on this one. It's 2-1-2 still. Duke coming from behind, picks up one, can't get the second. But they will clear out everyone at A As Tweezy now making his way around the corner, trying to help out.
He wants to do his best, but I think Duke's been holding that angle a little too tightly. I wouldn't want to push him now, especially with just 14 points
Valu,
of health.
though. Oof.
Oh, Valu, look at those bodies, Mech. And I believe it was safe, actually. I thought I was going to say it was Duke, but Duke already has respawned, and Epsilon, they do stabilize 20-22, and this is being a big contrast to how we saw map 1 play out.
Huge contrast, completely different. 85 tickets now down to 20 apiece for these two teams, and we're not even sure exactly how this is going to end. But with Duke at 18 and 12, Meg at 17 and 11. Some ridiculous kill lines. Look at both teams. Everyone has over 10 kills apiece except Safe at 7 and 15. I hate to be the guy to call him out, but it's true. Only men not pick up 10 kills or more.
But I mean, that's unusual. I think last time we've seen Safe play, he was really at the top of the scoreboard. Perhaps the position he's been given isn't ideal. Things have changed as Epsilon are going to be struggling now. 4 tickets is all they have. They can no longer respawn. David and Duke are down perma, as actually he chooses to respawn. Horak does get taken down, though, this time by Unfix, as it's 15-3. Merrick and David remain. Safe just gets disintegrated by Too Easy. And now all onto the shoulders of Epsilon to try and stop the bleed. They can't, and it's going to be 15 is our scoreline for our first half here on map number 2.
So 15 tickets, that is not a lot. Was expecting a bigger lead considering how the first game went down with Fnatic taking 85 in that first half. That's a little bit tough. We do have Epsilon actually have a disconnect yet again. Looks like Safe was it this time. Seems like every single man on their team is disconnected at one point or another. Don't know what's going on with that one, but hopefully they get things fixed before we do kick off the second half. And now, you have to wonder, can Epsilon come back? I mean, 15 tickets isn't that much. Like, it's not impossible to come back from that kind of deficit.
It's very possible. I don't think it's...
Duke is lagging. Sorry to cut you off there. 341 ping. Oof.
Wow.
And he changed his internet too, I believe.
I think, what he was saying is he's in a transfer period. So he's basically about to get fiber optic. So they've given him like a temporary connection.
Okay.
So he's on a temporary connection, which, as you can see, isn't the best. Fortunately, it's not so permanent, and I think it looks like to be stabilizing somewhat now. But internet connections aside, if Epsilon were playing without anything stopping in their way, this second half shouldn't be too much of an issue for them, I think. I mean, in my books, Fnatic and Epsilon, they may not be equal, but if I was thinking of a team, if I was listing a team, if I was saying, who can beat Fnatic? Obviously, MYM have shown that they can, but that second team, that at the tip of my tongue, it would be Epsilon, and Dawnbreaker would probably be the map I was thinking of as well.
Yeah, I mean, Epsilon has been able to do it in the past, but it hasn't been like super consistent. Like, I think they won 2 cups against them in the last season, but it wasn't like, I believe it wasn't like complete stomps, and that was with a different roster as well. That was with Marso on the team, not Safe. That was also with Fnatic not really spending a lot of time in the season practicing. We saw them in prior season. You look how they performed in season 1 to 2 with the roster swap that they had. Completely different team. Outperformed everyone by far. I don't think they dropped a single map throughout the entire time. But they got complacent in the last season. They did not care as much. They were playing a lot of other games, not really practicing. And now coming to this season, I feel like they've kind of started to focus again, realizing there's still a whole year of Battlefield to come.
Yep, that's exactly what Fnatic have been working on. I think they...
Why is no one in the building?
It's abandoned, dude. There's a war going on. Wow, they are pixely. Let's turn away from that.
Everything's pixely when you get in really close.
Yeah, well, especially this. Look, well... Then again, it is kind of pixely from a distance as well.
Is that like the old Windows screensaver with the pipes?
I don't know.
Those were like the best. And the maze. Oh, remember the maze?
Which was the maze? Is that the 3D? Oh, the 3D maze.
3D maze, yeah,
Endless 3D maze. I remember that.
That was awesome.
That was awesome. I miss screensavers. God, do you remember when screensavers were like a thing? Oh,
I have a Portal one at home.
You have a screensaver still?
Yeah.
I just don't understand. Like that. The only reason you needed a screensaver was because on a CRT you'd have like burnt images if you left it on.
It's kind of just like a aesthetic thing for me.
Now it's an aesthetic thing, yeah. Because I mean, you just turn your monitor off.
Good point. But guys, here we go. 30 seconds left on the countdown. Epsilon down 1 map, down in the first half of the second map on top of things. And they are playing from that US side up against Fnatic on the Chinese side, looking to close out this last half for a clean 2-0 victory in the finals, claim that 75 points, claim the 500 euros, and see if they can lock things down one more time before cut number 5 kicking off on Thursday.
Yeah, that's it. Double Battlefield, double trouble. this weekend, or week I should say. It's not a weekend, it's of course on Thursday. And so kicking off, 10 seconds on the countdown. Epsilon, they have a small mountain to climb, just 15 tickets standing between them and a normal 150 versus 150 bout. Here we go. Epsilon on the blue side now, and on the red, Fnatic kicking this one off already. You can see Valutage is doing something special on the streets, keeping them safe, keeping them clean.
Said he's a garbage man?
I think I did. I think I just insinuated he's a street cleaner. No, but keeping him safe. Maybe he's like, you know, like a... I can't remember what they were called.
Cop? Policeman?
Oh no, there's something... There was like a group in a certain period of history where they like non-violently kept people safe on the New York subway. What are they called? Not Hell's Angels, something else. Anyway, 150, and already 6 tickets have been taken away from Fnatic.
Alright, well, Fnatic not too worried about the initial tickets.
Yeah.
On the Chinese side, you expect to lose the 2-1 hold very early on. Now the question comes, how well can they penetrate the defenses? And with a couple of kills being traded, they're Mort actually killing his teammate too easy with a grenade. And they might want to make the push into B, but look at that. Fnatic, they're being cautious about this. They're taking the time to go for the B retake. And they should, because look at Hork, that spot, trying to watch from Dog Walk, does get the suppression assist, but not the kill himself. Drunk's able to respawn with the first one, looking for a second so he can push in towards the flag, and they're starting to get the cap. Fnatic looking for the 2-1, and they should be able to secure it.
Yeah, Epsilon in the process have only lost 2 tickets though, and that's of course the David and Duke deaths you see now on your screens. They are going to be respawning in, and those tickets are going to be taken away. And so now, the question remains, what have you got for us, Epsilon? 129 they've already taken away from Fnatic, but this is the equalizer. This is where they need to opt to retake it as soon as they humanly can. It's only going to be really safe on the site, but he seems to be alive for now, alive and kicking. Takes down Drugs, finally is going to be chunked down to just 27 points of health, but he's still fighting, he's still kicking, and that spot is going to be enough to perhaps throw a grenade out, try and clear up the bus. Instead, he does get eliminated. It's too easy. He makes it look all too easy over on that side. You can see he's just going to basically be the spotter for his team, holding the angles. Did you hear that scream?
Yeah. Almost as girly as me.
Almost.
When I did my screams.
Oh god, yeah, I remember them.
So right now, Fnatic have the 2-1. They've been able to pick up a lead here, and they're continuing this pace. They've really locked down that B site. They haven't given it up a single time once they finally claimed it. And so now they're the team struggling to really push back.
Yeah, of course. It's not easy to do. But they are going to be sitting around that B site, and I don't know really what Mayek and David's plan here is, because if they commit 3 players to this B site, all it's going to do is mean that C site's vulnerable. In fact, it already is. Drunk's probably going to clock on. No, what's he doing? He overextended. Fortunately, Valu just spawned in the nick of time to pick up where he left off. Now Duke hit fire onto it too easy, as that's going to be a tough one to come back from. Already that C flag is going to get pressured. Valitaja could be in trouble. He is. It's an easy pick up for the Epsilon side, and they are going to be able to hold out on at least one of these sites, but I mean, Fnatic, they've invested so heavily into B, and I think it's going to pay off.
Yep, they're going to get B. They're going to lose out on C, but a little bit of play by Valo to pull that many people of Epsilon back, allow them to go for the retake onto the B flag. Now Drunks should be able to maintain this, should be able to hold on for quite a while here, but a lot of nades raining in. They now know he's there in sight, and those nades are just spot on here out of the side of Epsilon.
Yeah, having no problems whatsoever to just control and tame this Fnatic side. So far, 103 to 119. But of course, take an extra 15 away from Epsilon, and that's about 85 to 118 so far. Thank you very much. It was an easy one, but
you're the subtraction guy. I'm the addition guy.
That's it. Together, we aren't bad at maths.
Until we get the multiplying and dividing, then we're screwed.
No, your long division was on point.
It was pretty good.
I was impressed. God, it's been so long since I did long division. I remember getting big tables of them, like big sheets. Yeah,
I remember crying trying to learn it because I couldn't figure it out. Because I was advanced for my age back then. I was smart back then.
Back when I was smart.
Yeah, back when I was smart. But Epsilon, they've finally broken through. They finally have gotten some sort of ground here. They're looking for C. David slowly making his way through. He's been shot from a couple different angles. Actually going back to where he was getting shot from. Interesting move. And B's being capped over as well. So looks like it will end up being a tri-cap here for a limited amount of time, while Fnatic try to fight their way back into capping one of these flags.
Okay, Mort, what have you got for us? Charges into the site, easy pick with the Ace 23 on towards safe. And now from the back of that, you can see 2 members from Fnatic. They're closing in. They've got their eyes set on the prize. The prize is A. Now 1v1. Horek doing his very best to keep the site safe, but not enough as the AEK needs an extra magazine. Now Valutaja holding up on the outside area. quite gonna
Everyone
be
he switched
finding
to is
anything.
dying.
I feel like I am giving them the spectator curse just by being on them. I'm just going to leave it on unfixed because he's not actually getting murdered just yet.
Just yet, though. Get the finger of death.
I'm not gonna move it. I want unfixed to play an amazing game now because I'm spectating him, not because everyone I cut to dies.
Just waiting to see him die here.
No, he's not gonna. Caster's curse will be lifted.
Right now, though, it's 86 to 86.
Trip cap. Wow.
It is. C will be turned over, though, in just a few seconds. So Fnatic able to get a little bit of ground back. Unfixed does pick up the 1 kill, forced to back away. They're starting to get the cap onto A here as well. And they should be. There's one man actually behind Unfixed. He hasn't spotted out just yet. Just turned the corner and walked right into the clutches of Safe. And now Too Easy waiting for maybe a couple of respawns to come in before they do go for the final push in towards A. So they will pick it up, but the tri-cap's already been in. It's been in for a while, and Epsilon have been able to get a lead back. That 15 ticket difference means nothing now since they're dead even.
Epsilon desperate to take it to a third. Siege of Shanghai is on the cards if they do it. Fnatic trying to gather resources, gather themselves, and try and retake this B side. It's going to be an easy one, assuming they can get through this Horek front line. He's charging straight on towards that B side. He realizes they can't do it all from a distance. The angles can't quite be enough. Nades do come in, though, and he's found one. It's going to be unfixed. This could be very good for Horek if he takes this down. The Fnatic side are being held down. You can see there's 3 players. Oh, it's a great nade. It's a great frag. It's a double. Horek knows there's a third to find. It's unfixed just around the corner, just around the river bend. And now he's going to be picking up that B flag. Strunks does respawn in, and that's going to be a real tough one for Fnatic to deal with, but still A and B flying for. I say that though. Sorry, the B and C flag was what I was trying to say, but Valutaja takes it away.
He really doesn't want to let that flag
really
go.
Doesn't.
He doesn't want to let it go over there.
Too Easy needs to move though. What's he doing? What's he doing?
He's looking for someone to rotate out of that C building. It's not happening just yet. Maybe he's waiting for a respawn to come in out of Valo to help get that cap on a C, but he knows C's been not being picked up since it was neutralized. He knows Safe's here. And he won't get the tag, not the frag. He's going to charge straight in for it, though, looking for the kill. And I think he has a spot, so he doesn't where he's going to be. And he can't get the kill. Actually, he switches guns because he expected to pick that one up already, but they're going to get C. They have A. They're looking for a cap on a B here, or maybe looking to contest it a little bit. And Fnatic finally able to get the lead back, at least in flags for themselves, but they're still down a little bit of tickets. It's still pretty much dead even because of the 15 ticket threshold. And Epsilon, they are falling by the wayside here. Fnatic as well, trying to fight back. They're just throwing everyone they can at this B5, trying to pick it up. They're trying to outplay the other team. Both teams, in turn, are struggling to do that.
It's definitely a close matchup. Both these teams just clashing. The clash of the Titans here on Dawnbreak. Just cut the map short for some reason. There's now 46 tickets for Fnatic. Epsilon have 63 to play with, minus, of course, that 15. Mick, again, eliminated. This is just a one-man army. Too Easy, just a little too short, as he does get taken down. Now Epsilon, they are just watching that number melt away from Fnatic. Great positioning from Unfix. He very well could take away this A flag, and he does. As metal detectors are going to be pushing, he knows it, just perfectly positioning an A. Just, if anything, just to slow them down. It's like the equivalent of a smoke when defending a site on a CSGO.
Thanks for that information.
What an unnecessary contrast.
You could have did worse. Could have mentioned Call of Duty. And now Epsilon fighting for that B flag back. It's actually just kind of sitting there between 2 teams, not being capped over. Not enough bodies on the flag to finally get that, but Horek finally get the flag back in their favor. And to get the frag they needed onto Drunks to allow this. But Fnatic now on 34 tickets. They're running out of tickets. They don't have a lot left to work with. Epsilon's still sitting pretty so far. But Too Easy coming in from a nice spot does actually stop the cap from being turned over. But just as quick as I say that, Fnatic keep dying one by one and not allowed to pick up this flag just yet.
Not just yet, anyway. 29 tickets. Fnatic have such little to play with, but they could still do this. Of course, there is that potential as a B flag is going to be picked up. They have 27 in the bank. This could very well be spell trouble for Epsilon if Fnatic do what Fnatic does best. Look at Mort's positioning, hanging out under the stairs. As he is going to be trying to connect around these containers. Look at this Epsilon investment. 4 members hungry for that B flag, but already that B flag is being questioned.
There's a lot of respawns coming in. Unfix picks up a fantastic kill on the Meg, which will allow them to pick up the flag and hold on to it for a little bit longer. They pick up another kill. Only 2 men on the side of Epsilon alive. And remember, there's not a lot of tickets left to work with. If Epsilon drop below 15, they will have lost out in a 2-0 if Fnatic pick up the victory. But Fnatic only sitting on 24 tickets left. And look at this, Mort going for the long rotate towards A. They're going for the tri-cap, and you know what? This might work out for them. But Epsilon have the man towards C. They have the back respawn coming in.
These frags are amazing, and this squad wipe now. Epsilon, all of a sudden, everything they had, everything they could have worked worked with was just taken away from them by Fnatic. Now, Mort, knowing that they're going to be spawning in towards C, gifts the Fnatic side the A flag, and now all of the resources that they have put into this site is going to be useless if they can't retake B.
12 tickets left to go, 12 to 23. Epsilon are trying to throw everything they can to try to get something going, but the hold is just too strong enough. And that they have too many men pushed up here to really do anything about it for Epsilon. But we do have a backup coming out of David. He's going to get something going over towards the B flag, but they're going to lose C at the same time here. They have 6 tickets left to work with, now 5, and Fnatic aren't giving up just yet.
They're picking up all the frags in all the right places. David and Safe down, and they're down for the permanent. They're down permanently, sorry, as now Epsilon just have 2 tickets remaining. They can't respawn. It's going to be a trip cap as well, and Fnatic, they made it close. They got a heart beating, but they have managed to secure this one as the 14th ticket is ticked. Yeah, I didn't want to say that. 14th ticket is ticked. Didn't make too much sense. But still, finishing in style, a trip cap from Fnatic and a 2-0 sweep in our Cup number 4 final.
Well done by them. That was a very close game. Dawnbreaker Fnatic proved that they still can play the map. It was still really hit or miss sometimes there, though. It was kind of rough. I think both of us can agree.
Yeah.
It wasn't a solid victory at all for them. And well, they did come out with a victory. That's what really matters. But Epsilon still put up a good fight. Even though they were down in both the halves, in the initial halves, they still fought as hard as they could. They almost put out the victory there with 23 tickets left on the side of Fnatic. But Fnatic at the end just really seemed to rally as a team and really focus up where they needed it.
Yeah, it was really good to see Fnatic performing as we know they can. It's always just the last little bit where they're like, oh, we could actually lose this. Let's not do that. And they just turned it up another gear. And we saw, like, I think it was 2 fights. It was really just the frags started coming in from Fnatic and managed to wrap that game up in 2. Of course, it seems to me that Fnatic, every time that they seem to rally, it's always like down to the wire. They don't ever kind of bring their A game from the start.
Yeah, we saw 85 tickets out of them against Epsilon, but it wasn't like they were performing extremely well. It was just Epsilon kind of was struggling.
Yeah.
But you're right, we didn't see like 123 tickets like we saw Infamous versus No Mercy. I mean, these teams are, I guess, a lot closer in skill, but the contrast from the first map to second was just really eye-opening and was really confusing to why it was that different between the 2 maps. Maybe just Epsilon more comfortable on it, even though Epsilon chose Locker and Fnatic chose Dawnbreaker.
Backwards engineering,
It's a little weird.
It doesn't always have to make sense in esports.
All right, well, guys, we're going to end the show for today since we have our victor now with Fnatic winning cut number 4. But come up Thursday, we have the last cup of the season of Spring 2015 with cut number 5. So make sure to tune in then at the same time, 7 p.m. CET. And then after I think a week or 2, we will have the groups kicking off finally and all the information out for you guys. So make sure to follow the channel. That's where all of our Battlefield action ever goes. Make sure to follow us on Twitter. We can see right below us. We always tweet about our shows when we do go live. Hope you guys had a great night, and hopefully we'll see you guys on Thursday. See you next time.